Here we go again. Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today, friends. I really do hope that namaste, willkommen, bienvenue, welcome back. I can't really talk well. I'm still a bit sick. I was horrendously ill yesterday. I still feel pretty rough. Sorry the video's late today, but when you're not feeling great and you're run down, things happen slower, so bear with me. In today's Chelsea news video, I'm going to be discussing a couple of big stories, or reported stories, on both Football.London and the Mail Online, talking about the massive pre-season squad that's arrived with Thomas Tuchel. That's still only such a small portion of the Chelsea roster. The Lone Army have returned. Reports suggesting Roman Abramovich has released funds in a sort of last desperate attempt to sign Erling Haaland, though the club, Dortmund, do not want to sell. And apparently Mino Raiola wants 40 million euros. Mental. Lots to get into today, friends. Bear with me, my throat is so sore, so I might be speaking slower. If you want to show your support to this channel, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications icon and all that jazz. As we jump into the first article of today from Football.London. That's right, the boys really are back in town. The Lone Army has returned. There's a 28-man squad currently with Thomas Tuchel and his coaches at Cobham, and that is nowhere near all the players that Chelsea have yet to return. There's so many players. It's exciting though. The likes of Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Charlie Musonda, Mark Guehi, Tino Livramento. The list goes on. Even Zappacosta and Danny Drinkwater are back. Bakayoko, Armando Broja. It's a really exciting time for a lot of the youngsters that us Chelsea fans look at and hope will get a look in. And by all accounts, Thomas Tuchel will look closely at all of them. He wanted to have a look at them on the training pitch before he made a decision on them, which is quite exciting. So I'm going to be reading through Football.London's article, giving you some insight on this situation. A group of 28 players were back at Cobham on Monday to undertake the first session of Chelsea's pre-season campaign. Chelsea began their preparations for the 21-22 campaign in earnest yesterday, as 28 players took to the training pitches at Cobham for the first pre-season session. The group was largely a mix of senior stars who didn't represent their countries at major tournaments this summer, such as Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech and Edouard Mendy, and returning loanees including Mark Guehi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher, Armando Broja. A lot of big, well-known names there, some that we have high hopes for. Personally, I'd really like Ruben Loftus-Cheek to have a comeback in his career because he was so good before that Achilles injury. Not to say that he necessarily will, but there's loads of players there to get excited about. But the likes of Charlie Musonda and Dujon Sterling, who have overcome serious injuries and illness over the past 18 months, were also involved, while young goalkeeper Lucas Bergstrom was included in the makeshift squad. The session was a light one. The players undertook a few stretches, light jogging and some ball work. The first double session of the summer will take place today as Thomas Tuchel begins to seriously evaluate the group. Chelsea head coach returned to Cobham last week, and Football.London understands the club hierarchy are prepared to let the 47-year-old run rule over several players before decisions are taken on their long-term futures. Yeah, this is really good that Thomas Tuchel wants to look at the players closely. He's not going to just say, oh, they've played there, send them on loan. Oh, they've played there, whatever, they're not going to be included. The fact how he thinks Chelsea players are generally good, I want to look at them to see what I've got, excuse me, is a huge positive. That will give forgotten big money signings such as Davide Zappacosta, Tamui Bakayoko, Ross Barkley and Danny Drinkwater one final opportunity to save their Chelsea careers. Although there's a couple in there that might struggle. For countless academy graduates who starred out on loan, it's an opportunity to impress Tuchel and earn a place in the senior setup for the season ahead. One in which Chelsea will compete in 6 different competitions and could potentially play in more than 60 matches. Tuchel will not get to work with his full first team until the start of next month. Mason Mount, Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Jorginho, Emerson and Thiago Silva have the next 3 weeks off, having reached the finals of the European Championship and Copa America respectively. Yeah, I think all players are granted a mandatory 3-week break after finishing like international tournaments. Yet the German is a coach's coach. He will enjoy the chance to assess and analyse the vast array of talent that has returned to Cobham at close quarters, and will still look to imbue fresh tactical concepts on those first team stars in situ. And ahead of the first session of the summer, Tuchel brought the group together and delivered a simple yet clear message to those involved. Quote, "Let's still try when we're on the pitch out here," Tuchel explained. "Try to focus, try to enjoy it. Try to be positive, because this is what we need. So welcome on the pitch, and let's go. Shall we start? Vamos!" Hugely positive from Thomas Tuchel. He wants to get going and be positive quickly, and wants everyone to think they have a chance, because they do. I've referenced before, remember when Conte came in, looked at Victor Moses in pre-season and went, "I can make you a right wing back," and we won the league with him as a really important player. This could happen with Thomas Tuchel and his current squad. Loads of players to look at. He can have a diamond in the rough, this tool that he needs to implement his plans on the pitch, and it could be with a player that, you know, faded away from the squad, or it could be a youngster that's been on loan. So let me know who you think, or who you're excited to watch from this pre-season squad down in the comments section below. Alright then, we'll move on to the second story of today's video, and let's talk about Erling Haaland. Right, it's the blockbuster sensational story of the summer. Erling Haaland reportedly interested in joining Chelsea. Chelsea desperate to sign the Norwegian striker, who they looked into before he signed for Dortmund. Dortmund reluctant to sell, but there are reports suggesting if it's for an incredible amount of money, they would consider it. Of course, we all know next summer he'll go for half the price when his buyout clause is activated, and of course, on top of all of that, agent Mino Raiola will make things difficult and will want a large sum of money himself. Let's have it right, ladies and gentlemen, this would be an incredibly difficult transfer to pull off. Let's see what the Mail Online are saying, who are suggesting funds have been released for a sensational transfer. Roman Abramovich has handed Chelsea the funds to go get Borussia Dortmund star striker Erling Haaland this summer for £150 million, according to reports. The 20-year-old striker is expected to be chased by several of Europe's elite this summer, but Sportsmail revealing in March that it's the Blues, who are one of the 3 European sides, that are interested in signing the forward alongside Manchester City and Real Madrid. Haaland, who scored 41 goals in 41 matches last season for the German side, would follow England international Jadon Sancho out of Dortmund should he move on this summer, with the winger set to join Man United for £73 million. Right, well, we know all that so far. Dortmund would be in a vulnerable position should they sell Haaland as well as Jadon Sancho this summer, but they could be hella rich, like hella rich. And according to Bild, Abramovich has released the money for Chelsea to sign Haaland this summer, but will need to offload some attacking stars in order to get the deal over the line. The report claims attacking trio Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham and Hakim Ziyech are just some of the players that face the chop at Stamford Bridge should the West Londoners steal a march in the race for Haaland. Yeah, I think these players would like face the chop purely on balancing the books for what's left of financial fair play. Roman Abramovich could just release the funds and be like, there you go, there's the money, go buy him. But for Chelsea to balance the books, then some players would need to be sold, theoretically, or I'm speculating here. Hudson-Odoi, who nearly left the club to join Bayern Munich in 2020, started just 7 Premier League matches after the Blues head coach Thomas Tuchel took over, following Frank Lampard's sacking in January. Abraham has barely featured for the Blues since the Germans' arrival, and has only featured twice for the Blues since the middle of February. Yeah, I mean, Hudson-Odoi had been looked at by Tuchel. He knows his qualities, of course, making him a wing-back at first, but then trusting him in the front three. Tammy Abraham, it does just look like Tuchel doesn't fancy him as a striker. Maybe Abraham will fancy giving himself one last chance to impress him this pre-season, but I'm not holding my breath for him, sadly. The 23-year-old striker was left out of the matchday squad for the FA Cup final defeat to Leicester City, despite being both Chelsea and the competition's top goal scorer that season. Ziyech, meanwhile, was a regular part of Tuchel's thinking during the Moroccan winger's debut season at Chelsea, making 39 appearances in all competitions for the Blues, scoring 6 goals. Selling all 3 players at their market value would raise around £90 million, according to the German publication. Olivier Giroud is another forward who's expected to move on from Chelsea this summer. Yeah, if indeed all those forwards go out the door, that would be a lot of money. I think a lot of people naturally will be upset with the Tammy Abraham exit, but a lot of people will be very, very upset with the exit of Callum Hudson-Odoi, should that come to pass. I think that's speculative journalism from Bild, but we'll have to see what happens. I'll of course keep tabs on all these stories. Make sure you're locked in to Football Therapy and subscribe. Haaland, meanwhile, would come in and boost the Chelsea attack after Timo Werner and Kai Havertz were both marquee forward signings last summer, endured difficult starts to life at Stamford Bridge. Werner, who cost 53 million, ended the Premier League campaign with just 6 goals to his name, while Havertz netted just 9 times in all competitions, though he did score the winner in the Champions League final over Manchester City. And yes, there is the moment, ladies and gentlemen, that Chelsea are of course champions of Europe. Dortmund, however, have maintained that Haaland will be part of their squad for the upcoming season. Sporting director Michael Zorc told Bild, "Nothing has changed. We're firmly planning with Erling for the next season." And to be honest, I believe him. I think they do want him for next season, and they are planning for him next season. So Chelsea are in a position where they literally have to twist their arm and force a sale through financial muscle alone. What, you're going to earn 60 million for him next summer? Originally we offered 80, then we offered 100. You know what, mate? We've got 130, 40, 50 million pounds. Money talks, man. Who knows, maybe the transfer is possible. I do think it's very, very difficult, but the reports are coming out just the same. And I here on Chelsea News will of course react to them, give you my opinion. And my opinion is, it will be very difficult, but I'd really love it to happen. Sorry guys if I haven't been too charismatic today. I'm very ill. My throat hurts, but I wanted to get a video out to you guys because I didn't do it yesterday. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like to show your support. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me baby.